what were you doing in there? You almost got yourself and the rest of us killed.
Cooking.
Cooking?
Yeah, but no, it was an accident and it's never gonna happen again, and
Remy,
I promise that
we are rats. We do not cook. People cook, rats don't.
No, but anybody can cook.
See, it's the rat's life for us, little Remy. We don't cook food, let alone where we don't go. Rat's life for us, little Remy. We feast with the grime, the fungus, and bacteria grow. Grab a menu and follow me. There's a whole buffet that I'd like you to see. So Remy, don't look so gloomy. This is your duty to grow. The rat's way of life is the way to go.
I found an apple core! I found a piece of bread! I found a Band-Aid!
Strike what that last guy said. The point is, Remy, whatever you'd like to eat is in a pile of junk sitting right at your feet. The rat's way of life's the way to go. A meal, what you don't understand is anyone can cook. Chef Gusto said it on TV. We have everything we need, just take a look and you will see. Yes, you will see. It's the rat's life for us, little Remy. We don't cook food, let alone in people's homes. It's deep inside, super heavy. The urge to cook is rattling my bones. Eat this bread crust and grab some grass. It can be used as a garnish.
I'm allergic to sass.
Alright, Remy, just listen to me. Watch the magic grow. The rat's way of life's the way to go. I'm not here to extinguish your dreams. I'm your buddy and as blunt as it seems. Remy, just please believe me. The cooking dream's a no. It's the rat's way of life. That's the way to go.
I love that. So if that isn't an adrenaline shot in the arm on New Year's Eve, I don't know what is. Hi, everyone. I'm Lauren Van Hemert from RDU on Stage, and I am with Blake Rouse, one of the TikTok composers, musicians, music writers of the new Ratatouille musical, which is premiering tomorrow night.
Yes.
You are making your Broadway debut. So I want to talk about of course, this huge thing that's about to happen, and really kind of educate people about it if they don't know what's happening, if they're living under a rock and they don't know that Ratatouille is coming. But let's talk about you for a second. You live in Fort Collins.
Mm-hmm.
You got your first guitar at the age of 2. I read on your bio, and you started producing music at 13, like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. And tomorrow night, Adam Lambert's going to be singing that song that we just heard. So
yeah, it's definitely, it's still, I can't really comprehend it. Like, I'm still like, I don't know. I'm still like neck deep in shock that this is all just like happening. And I'm still like it's hit me a couple of times, and it's definitely just like, it's crazy. It's so crazy.
Well, that song has definitely kind of a musical theater style to it.
Yeah.
How would you describe your musical style and your music?
So when I'm not doing musical theater stuff, it's definitely like I like the production side of it, and like I like writing music more than I do sort of performing it. I think if I were to describe like my music outside of musical theater, it would be like kind of folky, kind of mellow. But when I'm writing for shows or for musical theater, it's definitely I like the more upbeat, I like all the layers. I'm a huge Alan Menken fan. I've loved Disney forever. One of my favorite shows is Newsies, and that song in particular was modeled after "Carrying the Banner" from Newsies. Because at the very end, there's all of those like vocal layers of people singing all these different things, and then they come together for the big chord at the end. That is literally taken directly from Newsies' "Carrying the Banner." So I love him. I love Disney. And so I knew I needed to write a big ensemble heavy number for Ratatouille the musical.
But that wasn't the first. I mean, so we're going to talk about the 2 songs that are going to premiere tomorrow night in this musical. But I do want to talk about. So you're 17 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Did you graduate, or are you a senior?
I'm a senior this year.
Okay, so you've been involved in your musical theater program at your high school.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk a little bit about, I'm such an advocate for arts education in schools. Can you talk to me about the importance of arts education and what being in the theater program at your school has meant to you?
Yeah. So I fully believe without things like theater and without things like choir and music, I would not have been able to get through school. And I mean, even with that, I don't think school has benefited me a lot, just because I know for a fact that I want to do music for the rest of my life. And so me sitting through a math class has not been the most beneficial thing. But still, I think that having something that you're insanely passionate about and something that you are like looking forward to throughout your day is something that is totally needed to get through school. Because there were multiple times throughout my 4 years of high school and just throughout school in general where I was like, okay, I have like a half hour of English left. And then as soon as this is done, I get to go to my theater improv class. Or like I have to get a good grade on this essay because if I flunk it, I have to sit out of rehearsal tomorrow. And so it was definitely like being within the arts and being a part of theater definitely gave me motivation to get through school, because it was something that was offered by the school and it was something that I was very passionate about. And that extra sort of like, oh, they're going to take some of these benefits away if I don't do at least semi well in school. That was definitely a lot of motivation for me to get some decent grades and pass my classes.
Well, and it's definitely like, like an athlete,
Yeah.
you participate in the basketball program or the football program if your grades aren't up to snuff. So I love that. And your school has done some good shows. They did Rent. They did Almost Maine. How has participating in those shows, particularly Almost Maine, because I know you wrote a score for that. How has that informed who you've become as a composer and a musician, or how has it honed those skills?
So I got the incredible opportunity to produce an original score for that show when we did it last year, and that was insane. I loved doing that, just being able to be not just a part of something, but be sort of have something ingrained in a production. It's a feeling that I never want to forget, just because I love being able to say, like, I made this. Like, what I am watching and what I'm listening to right now is something that I had the idea for and something that I made. And I just like it was especially the Almost Main score, actually, where I was like, this is something that I need to do. This is not something that I want to do. this is something that I need to do for the rest of my life. And it definitely shaped me and put me in a different perspective. Because for a while, I was very like, I'm going to be an independent artist. I'm going to be an independent musician, and I'm going to perform my own music. And then it was my sophomore year when I joined a music production class that was offered by my school, and I was like, actually, maybe I kind of like producing for people and writing for people a little bit more. And I think that because if I'm writing for myself, if I'm producing for myself, I kind of just want to have a product. I don't really want to put my heart and soul into it. I kind of just want like a thing. I'm kind of like, and a lot of times it gets rushed, and I just kind of want to put out something, and then I end up not liking it later. But when I'm producing for other people, or when I'm writing or composing for other people, that's sort of when I'm like, okay, I need to get this done, and it's going to be good, and I'm going to make sure it's good, and I'm going to make sure it's something that I'm proud of. And I don't know why I have that shift, but that's just sort of where I'm at in terms of like my music that I make.
I love that you said that, because I think so often as artists we get fixated on the end product, on
Hmm.
finishing, and we kind of lose sight of the process. And what I'm
Yeah.
hearing from so many artists is that during this pandemic, they've been able to slow down a little bit and
Hmm.
really focus on process
Yeah.
versus finished product. Have you felt that this pandemic has nurtured your creativity in
Oh
your
yeah.
music, or hindered your creativity?
It has totally. I mean, I just like I think that a lot of people's biggest uh like barrier is time. I think that a lot of people don't have the time to do as much as they would like to do, and so I think that a lot of people have either picked up a new hobby, or really like taken the reins of something that they were already interested in during this pandemic. And I love seeing that, because I mean, yeah, people are still at work, people are still at home, but it's not as much as, or school. I mean, not home. But it's not as much as like what it was prior to March. And so people just have free time. No one's going out as much. I know that I had a bit of a COVID exposure a couple of weeks ago, so I was required to stay inside for 2 weeks. And often I found myself wanting to do nothing more than just make TikToks and make music. And I think that it's the biggest example of how limitation breeds creativity. Because yeah, like I think that, you know, when you have when like I often a great way to kind of like be creative when you are kind of in a rut is to limit yourself to, in my case, I would limit myself to like, okay, I'm going to use these drums, I'm going to use this guitar sound, and I'm going to use this keyboard sound only, and I'm going to make something with that and nothing else. And then my brain is like, okay, what could sound good with these sounds? How can I make this sound good? And then oftentimes I get something that I am insanely proud of, and something that I wouldn't have gotten if I just was like, I'm going to sit down and make something, and then, you know, not have that creative side of me come out.
Andrea Kaler from Coloring Broadway, she is following along with us on Facebook, and she
Cool.
said it's given us an opportunity to reprioritize what we spend our time doing.
Yes.
And I think that's so true. And just so you know, Coloring Broadway does have some Ratatouille coloring pages, so
Wait, no way. That's so cool.
it's very cool. So
Yay.
I will hook you and Andrea up afterwards, and I have a feeling she'll hook you up with some
I'm
places.
so excited.
um, But so let's talk about this TikTok musical. You were like 3 or 4 when Ratatouille the movie came out.
Yeah.
Um, I think my kids were 3 or 4 when Ratatouille the movie come out. And my son really actually likes Ratatouille a lot.
Yeah.
So when did you see the movie for the first time?
I'm gonna tell you something really embarrassing.
Uh,
I I didn't see the movie up until I wanted to write a song for the show. And yeah, I never saw it in full. I mean, like I've seen clips and I knew the whole premise and I knew the characters and I understood the plot and like everything going on. But I think that like the closest I ever got to watching the full thing was we watched a French dub of it in French class and I fell asleep halfway through. So that was like the closest I ever got to watching the full production. Or a full movie. What I'm like talking in theater terms, but
it's okay.
um,
We're all theater people here.
right, yeah, I'm like entered stage left, but no, I sat down like the night before I wrote the tango, and I was like, I need to watch Ratatouille because I saw the way I got involved was Josh Abrams, who's the guy who ran the original Ratatouille TikTok account. He made a video as like an open call to creators to like make anything. And I saw that video and I was like, okay, I love writing music, I love producing music, and I love musical theater. So this is like the best opportunity ever. So I sat down, I watched Ratatouille. It's great. It's Pixar. They can't do anything wrong. So I loved it, and then I wrote the song.
So the first song that came out was Tango, but let's explain to people. So there's an open call. It started as a meme.
Yeah,
There's an open call on TikTok asking for creators, and it's not from Disney, it's from another TikTok creator
yeah,
who had the brainchild that there should be a Ratatouille musical.
yeah,
And then the TikTok community basically created the musical on
yeah.
TikTok, which is going to premiere on Broadway tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, yeah. So it's crazy. It's insane. The way it started was Emily Jacobson, who is like a fourth grade teacher from New York, who or I actually don't know where she's from. I'm assuming it's New York. But she posts these like little songs on her TikTok page, and they're just like about Disney characters, and she pitches them up so they sound really cartoony and just super fun. She posted one about Remy in like early October, and that's sort of now the like main theme of Ratatouille the musical. But at first, it kind of became a song that people would use in the background of their videos, and it kind of like blew up, and it now has like hundreds of videos with that sound in the background. But I don't think it was until Daniel Mertzloff's musical theater arrangement of that blew up. I don't think it was until then that's when people started thinking like, oh, haha, Ratatouille the musical, because Daniel is incredible. Daniel is like the older brother I never had. He he got really popular on TikTok. He did like a it was called like Grocery Store the musical.
Grocery Store musical. Yes.
Yeah, he did that, and then he gained some popularity with that, so much so that he's like collaborated with like James Corden and stuff like that. He's like incredible. But he posted like a huge theatrical arrangement of Remy the Ratatouille, and that was kind of like the first sort of like Ratatouille the musical video ever put out.
And so when did you upload your tango training song?
I uploaded my tango training song probably a week or two after Daniel's video came out. Because Josh made the account, and people were already making songs at this point. People were already like writing music, and it was all a joke. It all started off as a joke. People were like making music, and thinking about like, oh, Ratatouille the musical. And so Josh made the Ratatouille the musical TikTok account, and he just said like, "Hey, creators, we want you to make stuff." And I saw that, and I was like, "Okay, I'll do that."
And really elaborate. It's not
Yeah.
so Tango came out sometime in the fall, let's say. And then
Yeah.
what was the response?
So I thought, because the way a TikTok account kind of like just like happens, it's just like you kind of go through ups and downs with views because the algorithm is insane, and it's weird, and it picks and chooses the videos it wants to make famous, and then the other ones are left behind. But I was kind of in this like rut of like TikTok videos because like I had gained some traffic earlier, and that was great, but then it started to die down. And then I posted the tango video, and I did not expect it to get anywhere. I thought that like my followers would laugh at it, and that would be that. But then I think after about an hour after I posted it, I knew for a fact that it was going to be like one of my most popular videos. And yeah,
What gave you the hint an hour afterwards?
I looked at my account, and you get all of your notifications like kind of as like one little number in the corner. So it'll say like you have 17 new notifications. When you have over 100 notifications, it doesn't give you an exact number. It just says like you have more than 100 notifications. And I went back to my account, and I saw the like 99 plus notifications number, and I was like, oh, this is peculiar. And I looked at it, and sure enough, it was everyone, and they were like, this is so cool. And I was like, wow.
And you received some attention from people in the movie. So talk about that.
Yeah. So Brad Bird, the original director, tagged Patton Oswalt, who played Remy in the original movie, and Brad Bird was like, "You gotta check this out," and it was my video. And I had a friend send me that, and I was like, "Wow, this is insane." And there were a couple of like bigger names that saw it, because Hank Green reached out to me and was like, "Hey, this is cool. Do you want to help me make a Ratatouille song?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I helped Hank Green produce a song for the Ratatouille musical. And yeah, there have been a few of those people where I'm just like, I am, I don't know where I am. We are living in a weird timeline.
And the second video is the one we just watched at the beginning of this broadcast. And both of these songs will premiere tomorrow. World tomorrow. Who's not following TikTok?
Yeah, it's insane.
So at what point did Seaview, the production company involved, or Disney contact you and say, yeah, we're really going to do this with this star-studded cast, and we're going to use 2 of your songs?
So I got a call from Daniel Mertzluft one day, and I woke up to the call, so I answered it, and I was like, oh, hello? He was like, hey, so here's what's going to happen. Ratatouille the musical is happening. It's getting picked up. Disney is cool with it. Disney signed off on it. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be super cool. We want to have the Tango and the Rat's Way of Life in it. You can't tell anyone. And I was like, I'm like trying to wake up, and I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever. I can't tell anyone. And he was like, no, not for like a couple of weeks. And so I had to like keep my mouth shut. I think I told my mom, and my mom didn't tell anyone. So my mom was like the only person who knew about it until when the announcement was released. But I didn't know who the cast was going to be. I had no idea, because I got like information the way that like everyone else got information, which was in pieces, kind of like week after week. Because I feel like even for the director and for people like Daniel, there wasn't really much information for a little while. It was just sort of like, this is going to happen. We don't know when, we don't know how, and we don't know who, and we don't know why, but it's going to happen, and it's going to be insane. And I just got my haircut, and I was in the parking lot, and Daniel called me and was like, hey, the lead singer of Queen is going to sing your Rat song. You can't tell anyone this either. And I was like, okay, you can't keep telling me this stuff and not expect me to scream it off the Empire State Building, you know?
Well, and so now, to be real, Titus Burgess is playing the Rat.
Yeah.
And Adam Lambert is Emil, and the song we just heard at the opening of this broadcast, they will be singing tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Other than writing the music, have you had any contact with either one of them, or had gotten a sneak peek of what's happening, or you're just kind of kept out of the loop?
I've gotten a few sneak peeks. I would say that like I really like the place that I'm at, which is like I'm involved with it, but I'm also kind of like kept on my toes of just like I'm not like I'm still kind of like getting pieces of information every day. And so I'm upset though, because we have like a big group chat of like me and the other songwriters. And they're all insanely sweet. If you ever get a chance to talk to them, they're incredible. But we have
like a Ratatouille night. Like, I feel like you all have to come on with me one night. We just have to.
I would love to, and I'm sure everyone else would too. I still haven't. We're trying to coordinate some sort of like Zoom call, because we're all on different parts of the globe. But what was I saying? I have a group chat with all of these Ratatouille songwriters, and each one of them was like, Andre DeShields responded to my DM. And I'm like, I still have an unopened DM to Adam Lambert and Andrew Barth Feldman. They haven't responded to me, but that's okay.
I bet they will soon.
I bet. If they don't, I'm going to be a little sad, because everyone else is getting a response from their associated cast members, but I have not.
Well, Adam Lambert, Queen is very big in my house, so Adam Lambert is just a superstar.
When I heard that, I was like, this is probably the best casting that has ever happened in the history of casts.
Well, the cast is pretty incredible. There were really a Broadway right now, and Broadway was open, there would be a red carpet premiere. So who will you be celebrating this moment with tomorrow night? Who are you going to be watching with?
I'm going to be watching with definitely my mom, and I have two younger sisters, so definitely my mom and my two younger sisters. I might have a couple of friends over, but definitely like being safe and trying our best to stay within the safety measures of where we are. Yeah, it's going to be pretty low key. I mean, I do wish that I could go to Broadway and see it like with my own eyes on like a stage. And but I mean, I also feel like without the pandemic, the stars would not have aligned to make this all happen. And so I would never say that I'm like thankful for the pandemic, because that I'm not. Like that's I would never. It has definitely been kind of the worst thing to ever happen. But if there's one thing good that came out of it, it's definitely Ratatouille the musical.
The silver lining.
Right.
Let me ask you this. You know, I was I am truly a theater nerd, theater enthusiast, and I really followed the evolution of Be More Chill because it was so interesting to me, the road
Mhm.
to Broadway for that show.
Mhm.
This Ratatouille production feels very similar to me because,
Yeah.
you know, most Broadway shows take years to produce.
Mhm.
There's millions of dollars of money behind them. It's a
Mhm.
business. And I feel like Be More Chill changed the algorithm
Yeah.
just get made, and I feel like Ratatouille, this musical, as tongue in cheek as it started off, could change the game too. Do you think with social media platforms like TikTok
Mhm.
that we're going to see more creation, more shows off Broadway, Broadway productions? Is this kind of a new avenue for musical theater, do you think?
Um, yes, I totally think that we are going to see a huge shift in what is put on stage. I think that I don't think theater, like I think no matter what like forms of media um, uh, happen and come out, I think that theater will always be the one that uh, uh, stays, and because it has been a thing, and it's been a very popular thing for hundreds of years. And so yes, I think that there will be a total shift of just like maybe we don't need to uh, pour all this time and millions of dollars into this. Um, and maybe anyone can cook. Maybe anyone can make a musical. Um, it doesn't have to be the big dogs of Broadway.
I love that. So what's the dream for you? What's the dream job? What's next?
I don't know. I would love to write for more shows. I would love to, um, like, I don't know. That's the dream job for me. I would love to write for shows. If not, I would love to uh, produce music at a studio.
Mm.
And yeah, I don't know. I love that this is happening, because for a while, for my entire life, I've known that I've loved music, and I it's something that I love doing, and it's something that I want to do. But there was never any sign that sort of said like this is something that you should continue to do, if that makes any sense. Like if like there was never anything, because like for a while I would release music and it would get so attention, which is fine. I love doing it. I would never like do anything just to get a view count. But I mean, for a while I was just sort of like, maybe I don't know, maybe I should find a backup. Maybe I should find a job that uh, I could fall onto if music doesn't work out. And this sort of has been a sign from the universe that to me, I just look at it as it's something that I should be doing.
Absolutely, 100%. Andrea has a question. She
Yeah.
wants to know, what have you learned or what do you know about yourself after going through this process of creating this music for this particular production?
Yeah, I guess that I've sort of cemented the idea that I can never take myself too seriously, because I love making music. and I would consider myself like a serious musician, like whatever. But I mean, I like at the end of the day, I'm writing music for a show about a movie about rats who cook, and and like as cool as that is, it's hilarious. Like it's funny. Like it's like the whole point of the movie is it's a pun. Like Ratatouille, it's just rats who cook. It's the best like pun movie title of all time. And so it's I've learned that I can put time and I can put effort into music, but at the end of the day, I just I love being able to laugh at what I make, and I can never take myself too seriously.
There is probably a 2 or 3 year old somewhere who opened a guitar this Christmas,
Mhm.
like you did when you
Mhm.
were little. What advice would you have for those aspiring young musicians or young musicians who just got their first musical instrument? What advice would you have for them moving forward, going forward?
Um, so okay, I have two things. The first one is you can never let anyone stifle your creativity, because there were multiple times where I taught myself how to play the guitar, and that's because I tried multiple guitar teachers, and they saw what I kind of figured out by myself, and they were like, actually, no, this is not how you do it. You do it this way, and this is the way everyone does it, and this is how you're supposed to do it. And I never liked that. I don't like that at all. That's why music theory is something that I'm interested in, but it's never been like, it's just kind of like, why do I have to do this? And that's the way that I was with like guitar and piano teachers. I have a great piano teacher right now. I do take piano lessons. He's awesome. He's amazing. But for guitar, I never found myself with a good teacher, because they always told me what I was doing was not the way that I was supposed to do it. And so I thought, okay, I don't like this. I'm gonna teach myself how to play the guitar, and that has worked out a lot, because I would consider myself a good guitar player, and I now know my limits and my boundaries, and I didn't have to have a teacher tell me um, what to do, and I enjoyed that. So, and if having a guitar teacher, or having a music teacher in general is what someone needs to succeed, then that's insane. I love that. That like you like everyone. I'm just saying, like, everyone needs to find what they are most comfortable with, in terms of like who brings out the creative side of you. It might be a teacher, it might be yourself, but you can't let anyone uh, tell you what is and what isn't um, creative. I guess I don't know if that made any sense, but
Hey, well, amen to that. I don't think anybody can prescribe your creativity. I think when it comes from um, the depths of your soul is when it's what is, and when it's authentic. It's.
yeah,
I don't think people should put rules on creativity. So I love
right,
you said that.
yeah, and yeah, I just like, I feel like so much creative energy is lost in people, and I think that you spend so much time thinking like, this isn't good, so and so is telling me that this isn't good, maybe they're right, maybe I should focus on something else, and then you end up not doing what you love doing, and you like, I mean, everyone has a creative side to them. It just is like what brings that out and who brings that out. And there are artists, and there are guitar players, and there are, I don't know, sculptors and woodworkers who have all figured out the medium that they enjoy most, and everyone has one. It's just, you can't let anyone force you into creativity.
Absolutely not. And I think your career is shiny bright. I cannot wait to see what happens next for you.
Thank you.
Am so excited about Ratatouille, the musical, tomorrow night. I haven't been to the theater in months.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm looking forward to it. I put the link to purchasing tickets. It's pay what you can. The tickets support the Actors Fund, I think. And
Yeah.
so it supports a good cause. It's a great cast and great music. We can say we heard it first. So this is so exciting, Blake. You're such an inspiration to so many young people.
You.
And you may inspire me to resurrect my TikTok account so I can follow what's new and exciting.
Thank you so much. That is, I appreciate that. That is very sweet.
Thank you so much. Break the leg tomorrow night. I'll be keeping track of your career and what happens next.
Thank you.
And thank you all for watching. So tonight at 7:30, Shonda Branch will be back. She's celebrating the sixth night of Kwanzaa, which happens to be the theme of the sixth night of Kwanzaa is creativity. So this is a great springboard to that conversation. And come back here at 7:30 and tune in to the Ratatouille the musical tomorrow night. There's a playbill and everything. You can get bios of who's involved. And
yes.
I put the links in the chat. Thank you so much, Blake. Good luck.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And we will talk again soon. And I will hook you up with Andrea from Coloring Broadway so she can get you some coloring pages.
That is my family's favorite thing to do, is sit down and color. So
do you know Coloring Broadway? Have you seen the Coloring Broadway theme? They have Newsies. I know you.
That's my favorite.
They have Newsies coloring pages. So we'll have to hook you and Andrea up because
please do.
She's amazing. All right. So thank you, everyone. I will see you at 7:30 tonight. Happy New Year to you, Blake, and just stay safe and healthy.
I will try my hardest. You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.